Now what has happened there is that Matheson couldn't go forward to support because they've got the extra forward on. Anyway, Rochdale did keep the ball, but it has to go backwards. Dooley. Now Matheson can venture forward. And he gets it. Norrington Davies. That wasn't very good from Sanchez, was it? Knowles, he's done well. Looks a shade optimistic, that.
Yeah, it's good covering once again from Keohane. Knowles did really well. Knew where Thewlis was. He's going to have a right good go in this last 7 minutes or so now, Boston.
Laid off by Wright to Whittle. Knowles. Wright. Whittle. O'Connell saw that coming in, but he's not cleared it very far. Aaron Wilbraham is about to fight for it back there yet again. He's done a lot of that in this second half.
He's had to do a lot of defensive work. Wilbraham playing out on that left-hand side.
In different ways in this second half. We've really seen all the knowledge of the years picked up by Wolford for Boston and Wilbraham now of Rochdale after so many previous ports of call. Privilege watching them, really. Knowles did well with that. Thewlis. Looking to thread it forward to Wolford. The crowd in that far corner are trying to persuade the referee. Doesn't need persuading this time.
Here's the previous one. He's just trying to, I think he's trying to buy the foul there against Camps, really, but they do get the free kick in the end. There's a slight handball there. I'm not sure what he can do half a yard away, but eventually gave the foul and the yellow card for Dooley. Again, it's a dangerous position. Left-footed in-swinger coming in once again from Wolford. 7 targets to hit in the box for Boston.
Dominic Knowles is now replaced. And like Wafula, he gets a great hand. Simon Ainge. I believe he can play up front, but centre-back I understand by trade, but he can put his head on a ball, and that might be very important right now. Here it comes from Wolford. Do you know what? That was a sharp stop by Sanchez.
Yeah, it's a really good ball in. So they're really high line. Keith Bird with the header. Difficult save for Roberto Sanchez, just bouncing in front of him, but it's really clean hands from him once again.
And he hung on to it for as long as possible, Sanchez. Boot to ball there by Bird, and to good effect, nearly. Rochdale ringing the changes again. And here's a fellow who's done a bit over the years, Calvin Andrew. He's going to replace Matty Doan.
Again, another difficult. Matthew down there. It's worked really hard against the ball in this second half. And Barry Murphy bringing Andrew on now. Get another player returning from injury. He's going to try and shore up that back four.
Missed out the Rotherham game, didn't he?
Yeah, looks like it's going to go to 5 at the back now, Rochdale. Try and hold on to this lead.
Wolford. Thewlis. I was reaching for Ricky George there for a moment.
Oh, you fancied him, didn't you? He's had such a good game in this second half.
A reminder about our Christmas-time lineup on BT Sport, with Burnley against Manchester United in the Premier League on the 28th of December, and then on New Year's Day, BT Sport brings you all 10 games from that round of matches, featuring 9 on the 1st of January and culminating with Liverpool against Sheffield United on the 2nd. Sky and BT TV customers can download the BT Sport app and flick between all the games and watch all the goals as they go in with our goal alerts. Here's a Dooley alert. He has added something for Rochdale, Kevin, hasn't he?
Yeah, he just had that a bit of composure, hasn't he? Just trying to float around in behind Wilbraham and Taiku playing up there. Just got on the ball, just been a bit more of a threat for Rochdale.
Morley. Camps. Again, it's backward by Wilbraham, and they've played themselves into trouble here. What a job as a centre-back Calvin Andrew did then. Whittle over to the right side for Boston. Here's Wright. He's got another free kick.
Yeah, it's clumsy from Aaron Morley. Getting another opportunity to get the ball in the box. Wolford's got the quality to really hurt you with his delivery from set pieces now. Almost everybody up for Boston.
We're in the 90th minute. Is this the moment for Boston to keep the FA Cup dream alive? Wolford once more. It might be a bit far out, and he's spurned a couple of other opportunities to have a direct hit. Once more the keeper has a little conversation with the referee. Here it comes from Wolford. He's come a long way, Sanchez, to good effect. Excellent.
Yeah, it's just a floated ball in. Disappointing from Wolford. He knows that Sanchez will come and try to take everything. He's had a bit more pace just to try and take him out of the equation.
5 additional minutes, and that gives the 90+% here in this stadium tonight who support Boston fresh belief. Bird, got to get to it, did it well. Penny sends it up there. Ainge. That's a decent one, and every time they can, they get bodies in the box now, Boston. I have to say, I thought that was wildly optimistic from where we saw that by Thewlis. I think even he agrees. But the big men stay up there, and they send it long again, and here comes Sanchez. Not the best of punches. Right. Wolford couldn't find a glimmer of light, but they still have the ball with Penny. It might yet be kept alive here. It's the centre-back, Bird, and he's done brilliantly with it, and Sanchez again makes a great claim.
Yeah, his handling's been really good this evening. Just takes a sting out of the game for Rochdale now. You see Thewlis there, just trying to buy a penalty there. Norrington Davies just holding, he has got his arms around him, but it's not enough for a penalty, I don't think.
He got that Kevin Davis video out, didn't he? All the way through to Crook. There's another example, and Calvin Andrew knows a thing or two, a bit like you, Kevin. He's a centre-back at the moment, and it's another free kick. And this time a yellow card. It goes Rochdale's way. Tom Platt.
Final substitution for the Pilgrims, replacing 8 Martin Wolford, 16 Nicky Walker.
Wolford's race is run. Nicky Walker replaces him. about 2 minutes. Temporarily down to 10 here, Boston. Bird. That's all the way through. He's so annoyed with himself, is Pierce Bird.
Yeah, disappointing. Trying to pick out Ainge on that far side. Just sliced it slightly. Looks like they're just running out of time now, Boston. They're bitterly disappointed. Looks like it's going to be the 2 costly mistakes for them.
I don't think Barry Murphy even now believes that this is all over.
It's been a gritty performance from them, certainly not been at their best, Rochdale. It's looking like they're going to get back-to-back away wins, a big win against Rotherham. Going into the 3rd round of the FA Cup.
That was a bit panicky though, wasn't it? Norrington Davis. One last hurrah here now for Boston United in the FA Cup. Great job by the ball boy. Well, at least I think it's a boy.
Well, they certainly need to get that first contact, and there's Simon Ainge, real threat in the air.
That's the aim, and he did get to it, Ainge. A toe to it by Camps, a boot to ball will do it, and Rochdale have done it. No mistake, it was a belting cup tie, but 2 big mistakes for Boston United, sadly, ultimately put them out of the FA Cup tonight. Rochdale are into round 3 as Boston reach the end of the road. They should not blame themselves, they should not beat themselves up. The winners maintaining a really excellent FA Cup record over recent seasons. The losers know that there could have been more, especially on this now, the last FA Cup night ever here. But there are still reasons for them to be very proud. And as they've shown, they're moving to a new stadium, richer for the experience in every sense. But it is Brian Barry Murphy and Rochdale who can now look forward to the first weekend in January and another taste of the true magic of the FA Cup. They will host Newcastle United. Matt, over to you.
Thank you, Paul. Excellent cup tie. Lively in here, very lively. And Boston gave it, well, the full beans, didn't they? Gave it everything they had. And Rochdale, I would think, will know full well that they have got out of jail here, Grant Holt. They have ridden their luck at times. And probably a bad touch that, in a way, wins the penalty has won them the game.
That's it. I said that weren't at it second half, couldn't get going. Fair to Boston, they kept on working. They threw everything at it, and they just couldn't get that little ball just to drop for them. But I said for Rochdale, they were disappointed second half, but they got the job done. I said penalty, good composure by the young lad, stick it in the corner. Yeah, absolutely. And actually, the goalkeeper, who looked a little uncertain at times, on loan, I think he is from Brighton, a Premier League standard goalkeeper, if you like, was good with a few late crosses that came his way, wasn't he? We've learned he can catch, but we've also learned he can't kick, which
true.
I said, but when they needed him, he came to the fore. He came and took some great crosses when they needed to.
Yeah, I think these pictures tell a story, don't they? These fans are rightly proud of how far this team's come. This is the first time they've been beaten at home all season.
Oh, they've been fantastic. I said that the players, to every single one, they kept on going, and it was just a similar tale of the first half. Just couldn't get the final pass off.
You would not, though, on that 90 minutes, guess there were 3 divisions between these two teams.
You certainly wouldn't.
Let's get to Natalie. She's got a couple of the Rochdale players, I'm sure, delighted to be in round 3. Natalie, all yours.
Yeah, with Aaron Wilbraham and Owen O'Connell. The manager said to me before the game, you were grateful still to be in the competition. Is that the general feeling after 2 tough tests against Boston?
Yeah, it was 2 tough tests, like you say, and obviously we've come here tonight and I think the boys defended resolute. We've got some young lads in the team and a mix of experience, and I thought we defended their free kicks and long balls, and we saw the game out in the end.
How different were the two games between them?
Yeah, obviously it's a tough place to come here, so tonight was probably a little bit tougher than the first game. We didn't play very well in the first game, but we wanted to put that right tonight and we got the result.
I mean, how much was tonight about playing with your head, staying composed, because Boston didn't look like they were going to run out of steam?
Yeah, I think so. They proved in the first game they were probably the better team, and we knew tonight coming here was going to be a battle, and you know, especially on this pitch there's going to be mistakes, and we just fought our way through, and it's a good result in the end.
Good to get an early goal, but to lose the captain early, how big a blow was that?
Yeah, you know, Hendo's been brilliant for us, scored loads of goals, so it's always a blow, but we've got lads like Pike to come on, and we've got boys coming back from injury like Thewlis there, who is brilliant, so it's a good sign.
And now to go from perhaps the favourites in this particular tie, but to then go to the underdogs for the next round potentially, does that tag suit you a little bit better?
Yeah, I presume so. You know, we went to Old Trafford in the League Cup and got a good result, so you know, we've got a few league games first that we'll concentrate on, but we look forward to the Newcastle game then.
I suppose there's more pressing matters in the league, but it's certainly a game that you will look forward to. It's hard to ignore when you've got Newcastle United coming to the spotlight.
Definitely, everyone wants to draw a Premier League team. We've managed to do that, so we'll look forward to that game. But like Owen says, we've got a few tough league games before that, so we'll concentrate on them for now.
Well, Owen, you are the man of the match, so Aaron, if you'd like to do the honours.
Well done, Bonzi.
Cheers, Chairman. Thanks, bud. Nice one. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
I'm pleased for Aaron Wilbraham, who's had a tough week after a bereavement in the family, so obviously this will hopefully cheer him up a bit. But the home fans will go home happy, I'm sure, despite the fact that it won't be here that Newcastle travel in round 3. We'll round it all up, but don't forget more from round 2 in terms of a replay tomorrow night in the FA Cup. Plymouth and Bristol Rovers go again from 7:15 on 1 and BT Sport Ultimate. In the Premier League this weekend, Everton talk of Ancelotti. Arsenal certainly will be at Goodison at the weekend, as will we. Midday start for that one. Burnley, Manchester United then on Saturday the 28th. That's an evening kickoff in the Premier League. 7 p.m. start on 1 and Ultimate. And don't forget on New Year's Day, the all-day games all through the day. And it culminates with Liverpool, Sheffield United on the 2nd. 9 games on New Year's Day. One more for you on the 2nd, all across the BT Sport channels. And all the games, all the goals, as they go in with our goal alert service. More from Grant and those involved here at York Street in just a couple of minutes. Rochdale just doing enough to get the better of brave Boston from the National League North. Gave it a right good go here, but it's Dale who take on Newcastle next. League One Rochdale will play Newcastle in round 3, courtesy of this heavy touch from Stephen Dooley that tempts Jay Rollins in. Dangles a left leg, over you go, thanks very much. An excellent composure from Aaron Morley from the spot. That takes a bit of nerve. And it wasn't going to plan for Rochdale, I think that's fair to say. Second half, we'll get the thoughts now of Brian Barry Murphy alongside Kevin and Grant. Happy, relieved, got out of jail, what?
I don't know about the last phrase. I thought we were ecstatic to go through in the cup tie, and it was obviously a very difficult game, and Boston played very well, as they did in the first game. And we're not above ourselves to think that we're better than them in a lot of aspects. So I thought we displayed a lot of courage and a lot of fight throughout the game, and I always felt as if we'd be dangerous the longer the game went, and we probably scored at a crucial time for us.
Yeah, it was a good time because it was kind of getting scrappy, which I imagine is, not that they're that kind of team, they play a bit of football, Boston, but it was kind of getting the kind of game that they maybe wanted more than you.
Well, Boston played some great football in the first game with Scotland, and there was a lot of talk that we didn't play well, but I thought that was disrespectful to the way they played, and they had a huge influence on the way the game went at Rochdale. And it was similar tonight. You know, they had good spells in the game, but we looked dangerous ourselves, and I thought it was a very, very good experience for a lot of our young players to go through this type of game and come out on the winning side is an added bonus.
Yeah, I suppose that would be true of obviously very young right back in Matheson, who is instrumental in a way because he's so good marauding forward, and it's his cross that tempts Jay Rollins because of Dooley's heavy touch for the penalty.
Again, it's just a brilliant experience for these players. You've had to look towards the academy players that have come through the system due to the amount of injuries you've had over the last 6 or 7 weeks. It's been horrendous for you, hasn't it? But it gives them the opportunity, and he gets forward. He had to pick his moments, particularly in that second half, because he had to do a lot of defending, and Dooley comes on. He made a bit of difference coming on as well and drew the penalty for you, didn't he?
I'll be honest, I was slating for not shooting, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's just the way sometimes it happens that one heavy touch induces the challenge, and then was there any doubt that it would be another, I think teenagers need still, Aaron Morley, to step up and take a penalty in such a big pressure cooker?
Not really, because I our young players, they've achieved an incredible amount in a very short period of time, and they're used to playing in high pressure games, and it's just so good for them. But the level of nerve they show at Old Trafford previously and goals like that kind of has stood them in good stead. So this was a totally different test for them. But again, they've encountered games like this throughout their academy careers, and they're perfect. And I mean, apart from Aaron Wilburn tonight, we still had a core group of our real young players, and it's something that we're extremely proud of, and makes the future extremely bright for our club.
I know you've got a few of the many injured players coming back in the next week or two, so in time for Newcastle's visit to Scotland on the 4th of Jan. We'll be there, you'll be there. Hopefully some of your injured players will be there.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's been a very difficult time for us in terms of injuries. But the huge benefit of that is that we've seen more and more of our young players get chances and game time. And while everyone was complaining about that, we've introduced some really prodigious young players, and we think are going to be exceptionally bright talents. And the benefits far outweigh the period of difficult results we've endured while blooding those youngsters. It's great for us, you know.
Well, listen, we look forward to watching you on the 4th at Scotland. We'll be there to watch you get on against Newcastle.
Yeah, we can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian. Go in or get a coat on at very least. I'm worried about you in a sweatshirt on a night like this. Well done, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, Kev, I think Boston will not have many regrets, will they? Maybe just that little bit of composure in the final third, because they've given it a right good go tonight.
Particularly that second half, I think we both mentioned it in the first half, just like that bit of quality in the final third. I'm sure Craig had a few words to say at half-time. They came out and started on the front foot, got back in the game with a brilliant equaliser. And I think for the last 15-10 minutes, they looked like the team that were going to go on to win it, but unfortunately the one mistake's cost them. Or two, actually, if you include the first one.
You'd have both liked to be on the end of this one. Actually, they're unlucky in some ways, as Craig Elliott joins us, because Mafula's hit is worth a goal, Grant, on many nights.
Oh, yeah,
and then they just keep it alive, don't they? And Rochdale are a little bit at 6s and 7s.
This is probably the first time they actually fell for him a little bit.
Yeah.
I said there was a lot of times in the box where it was dropping and it was going the other side, or it was the other side of or it hit one of the Rochdale players. It just didn't have that rub of the green. We talk about it. They're going in good areas, but sometimes we're putting balls in and headers were flicking and Rochdale got away. But I thought the exception second half, they kept on going and they deserved the goal at that spell. And the one thing that I say, and I'm going to criticise the fans a little bit here, when they actually took the flares on the pitch, it killed them a little bit because it took the momentum a little bit away from them. But I thought they were exceptional second half.
Oh, well, we were all set for lift-off here, weren't we, when that one went in, Craig? Good for you to join us so close to the end of a match that's probably put you through the mill a bit, has it?
Yeah, it has. Obviously, it was a good FA Cup tie. Felt like a good game. Obviously, just disappointing in the end to come out on the wrong side, but extremely proud of the players tonight.
Any regrets? I wouldn't have thought many.
No, I agree. I think a bounce of ball didn't go for us. And in an FA Cup tie, when you're an underdog, you need them little sort of moments to go for you. I think we had a lot of good balls in and around the box, but you need a deflection or something like that to go. But look, I'm really proud of the players. We could have crumbled after the bad start, but we didn't. We come through the adversity and showed a good spirit in the second half and made it a good tie. And I thought we did enough to take it to extra time, if I'm being honest. I didn't feel really under a lot of pressure, so I was disappointed with the second goal again.
Yeah, I know Jordan Thewlis has been, one of your key men this season, and again he was a thorn in their side. Obviously, these are League One defenders, and he gave them a merry dance at times.
Yeah, the idea was sort of to play him out wide in the first half, then we moved him a bit more central in the second, just to try and change things a bit, and I think it worked, and trying to use John Owufula's sort of aerial threat from out wide, and it worked quicker than I thought, to be honest with you. And he's a good player, he's versatile, and he was a threat every time he got the ball.
Yeah, and actually, whilst we look at his good stuff, nobody really let the manager down, Kev, tonight, did they? I don't think, from a Boston point of view.
No, I don't think
obviously
so.
We're going to look at the 1-0, which is a moment that he won't want to see again, the goalie, but that's the way it goes.
I think Craig knows his team well enough now. He's built his squad, he's got a good spine to the team, good attacking options, and they're going to cause a lot of teams problems higher than they have, which is shown this evening. And it's all about obviously trying to get promotion for Craig now on. But like I say, just be disappointed, because you probably at that point felt you were going to be the team that maybe goes on and wins it. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what people don't realise as well, we had two centre midfield players missing tonight who were extremely talented players for us and big players for us, and I was really sort of worried coming into the game, and nobody mentioned that in terms of in and around the place, so that's a compliment to the lads that come in.
I said it on comms, don't we?
Yeah, but I mean, and it's hard at our level to lose two players of that calibre, but like you said, everybody played the part, and just disappointing in the end, we couldn't get the job done.
Should we let you talk about the 1-0 rather than the manager, because he won't know what to say, I don't suppose. It's just one of them moments that you think he goes with his wrong hand, don't you?
Yeah, I think he goes with his wrong hand. It was good, to be fair, it was a good bit of play by Rochdale, to be fair. They kept it alive. The kind of first half hitting him behind. Great little 1-2.
Yeah.
And then I just don't know what he's going for. He's trying to dig it back stick and he goes with his wrong hand. For me, he should go with his right hand, and I don't know if he's trying to palm it over or try to catch it, but I think there he's just got to go with his right hand and just clear the danger in his
It's
head.
neither a cross nor a shot, really, is it? And he kind of maybe gets caught in two lines.
Just the emotion, you know, the cameras here, a big crowd, and it's just, you know, it's only 2-3 minutes into the game, and sometimes you just can't settle into the game. And I'm sure he probably apologised at half-time. He'd be devastated, I'm sure.
To be fair, he didn't let it affect him after that.
He made a couple of good saves.
After that, he made some good saves.
Good point.
And that's what I was impressed with them for the whole game. I said, any disappointment was in the game. Little fouls where there was a spell where the referee wasn't really giving them anything. And I just thought they just kept on going. They kept on working. I said, in them clips, you can just see it. It just didn't fall at the right side.
Yeah, and actually over 180 minutes, as it's turned out, there's not been 3 leagues or 3 divisions between you, has there? I don't think so.
No, I think it's been a tight game, obviously. And like I said, in both games, we've just not had that ball bounce in the box for us at the right time. I thought we had good opportunities at Rochdale as underdogs. I think we could have won it on the day. And like tonight, I think we were even better tonight. Like you said, to have a bad start, you sort of talk about having a good start, getting on the front foot, and it's sort of opposite effect. But we showed that great character. Like you said, Peter Crook in the nets, didn't let it affect him. And that's what good players do. And I'm proud of him, to be honest with you, how he has come back and didn't crumble. And played his part in a good second half performance, I think.
And if you can, obviously now, as they say, focus on the league, you're in the playoff positions, you can come and join us in the National League on BT next season, hopefully, all being well.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, look, we've got a good team. It's been a good ride in the FA Cup. Obviously, it'd been nice playing Newcastle United.
Of course it was. And it might have paid for half of the new ground, which is coming next season, isn't it?
I'm sure Chairman will remind me of that tonight.
Yes, I'm sure he will.
But it's all about the football and winning games and creating moments, and it's been a great memory tonight, and the fans, I'm sure, go away sort of happy with the performance, if not the result.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Listen, well done for the ride that you've given the fans and obviously us. And hopefully we'll see you next season. Thank you very much, Craig. Really appreciate your time.
Cheers. Thank you.
Again, get a coat on. It's freezing out here, as you can probably tell from the way we're dressed.
That's why.
I know. I think Rochdale obviously will be relieved, despite what Brian says about giving some plaudits to Boston. I'm not sure Boston. What else can you ask? Quality that perhaps you wouldn't necessarily have at National League North level.
I think he said it all. I don't think they could have given any more in terms of, you know, the effort they put in. You know, they only train a couple of times a week. It comes a team 61 places above, full time. Everything was against them, but he is creating something special. He's a manager that's drawing a bit of interest from the leagues above. New stadium, you know, the owner that loves the club. Look at the fans here tonight. I mean, they've not had a night like this for decades, and it's about the memories that they've created. Maybe got a few more fans coming in now, so it's all going in the right direction for them. Yeah,
it's a good point, actually, that you don't necessarily see what goes with the run that they've had, and the fans that have now become part of the story here at Boston will now love their local team even more.
Well, that's what I mean. You get a crowd like that, and all of a sudden, like you just talked about, you roll into the new stadium. I said, these are things what it builds off. You do this, you do the FA Cup, they get a good run in the Cup, and then it leads on to the league.
Can Rochdale beat Newcastle?
Of course they can.
They'll have to play better than that. But listen, whether Newcastle take a full team or not, they've got players coming back who will add quality to the squad. It'll be a tricky game for Newcastle, no doubt.
Yeah, well, they had a hard enough test tonight, didn't they? Hard enough test on a cold night in deepest Lincolnshire. Kev was on the gantry. Me and Holty were pitch side, weren't we? Wrapped up. Didn't go to extra time or pens in the end, so we all get off slightly lighter than we thought. Tough on Boston, but Rochdale through to play Newcastle in round 3. We'll see you that New Year's Day. Happy Christmas from all of us.
Lamb, Rogan, Josh, hand.